Okay. So, hello everyone. So, we have Chetan and Shraddha from Team MukkaMaar. Uh, so, they'll be guiding us on how gamification and user funnel optimization have significantly boosted engagement for their platform. They'll be sharing insights into their strategies, key learnings, and the impact of these approaches in driving user participation and retention. So, over to you, Chetan.
Yeah, thanks. Let me share my screen. Can you share the
Yeah,
request to me? Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for taking out time and joining this session. So today, I think, as Priyesh mentioned, that we will be talking about chatbot engagement through gamification and optimizing user funnels. So before we move into, let's quickly discuss the agenda, like what all things we will be covering today. So first, we'll talk about like what is MukkaMaar, what work MukkaMaar does, and how they do it. Second, we will talk about our chatbot Mukki and we'll see her journey till date. Third, we will deep dive into the gamifications. And fourth, we will see how we leverage data to understand the funnels and improve the engagement. Um, in India, like all these crimes are very common, and even for girls, they believe that violence has to happen in their life, and all of this culture of violence stripes the girls of their agency. And most of them feel and they say that हमारी तो ये किस्मत में ही है और हम कर ही क्या सकते हैं. So our all our work is delivered to make sure that the girls become so strong and courageous. We are a non-profit organization that has been working in Mumbai and Delhi for the last 7 to 8 years. We have worked with over 20,000 students and developed programs, curriculum, and specific pedagogy that specifically deals with the self-defense. So what we do is try to enhance the self-defense in the country. We believe that children deserve safety and it's their fundamental right. Now let's see how we do it. So we have both offline and online programs. As you can see, in offline, we follow a fellowship model. We recruit fellows with backgrounds in martial arts, boxing, sports, etc., train and place them at our partner schools. The in-school program students, it's a 3-year program. It's very long and it's deep. It's around like 150 hours, which is delivered in 3 years. And a conversion of that or a condensed version of that is our digital program, which is we called as MukkaMaar with Mukki, which is our chatbot. And all of this is delivered and outreach with the partnership with the government bodies. For Mukki, it's the central government, and for offline, it's the BMC and the Delhi government. As we mentioned, as I mentioned earlier, that we have worked directly offline with more than 20,000 students, which is what has fed to into all of our learning. So it's not just a bot out of nowhere. And even now we continue to work our offline, and we are also growing the offline program because there is a very high need for it. And alongside, we are also working on digital program. And these are the numbers as you can see on my screen. Yeah. So
Hi, my name is Shraddha. I come from a martial art background. I am an international MMA fighter and a WACO certified referee. And I will take you through the journey of MukkaMaar. So before 2019, we used to only work on ground, as Chetan shared. We knew the need of a curriculum on the ground, but getting trainers and reaching out to large number of people, large number of girls through offline mode was very difficult. We always wanted to shift ourselves to digital mode so that we could reach to maximum number of girls at a very low cost. COVID pushed us to do this, so we started working on digitalization. Working on working on ground was a fun. Like as we can see, a direct impact on girls, and but the cost is super high for a small NGO like us. One of the primary reasons we opted for an online program was to ensure it was financially sustainable and budget friendly for us. The biggest disadvantage of working on ground is that we won't able to focus on remote areas. And and I think through digitalization we wanted to capture the sea, not just the pool. Also during COVID, there was a rise in violence. Like a lot of complaint got registered under child helpline, hence the demand got increased of our curriculum. I still remember there used to be like many calls. People used to call us for our self-defense sessions and things, but we couldn't do it because of lack of resources. Our curriculum and pedagogy has have always been our strength. So for that we needed a trained people like me, और मैं हर जगह नहीं हो सकती. So we wanted something that would be able
हाँ,
to reach to girls on our behalf and create some impact.
अब अभी बस इनको
Later in
कन्विंस करना है, मतलब इसको ब्राइब की
2019,
तरह
the first thing we
खींचना
did
है।
is
हाँ,
we
इसको
drew
बस
a role
कन्विंस करना
model
है।
that is our mascot. It was very important because whenever we used to ask girls कि तुम्हारी female role model
दिस
कौन है,
इज मतलब ऐसे बस
and
वाइट
they
बोर्डिंग
used to
चाहिए
go
मुझे।
blank, like with no response. And it was very, very disheartening to hear कि उनके पास कोई role model है. So our MukkaMaar girls came up with the idea, like with a demand कि हमें भी कोई female hero चाहिए, कोई female role model चाहिए. And to fulfill this demand, we came up with Mukki, who is an exact reflection of our MukkaMaar girl, who is powerful, courageous, smart, and loves to ask a lot of questions. Girls were super happy to see her. But one of the obstacle was कि हर लड़की तक इसे कैसे पहुंचाए. So then in 2020 we built a prototype, prototype of an application. It consisted of SOS button, chatting ka system, like SOS button, help desk, and so on, so that we can create a support system for our girls and make them feel more empowered. But then in the same year, we did some research experiment to see if it will work or not with our target audience, that is our girls. At the start of COVID, we used to take online session. Like in 2020, we used to take online session on Zoom. जो हम offline में करते थे, वही हम we used to do on Zoom. But the thing is कि there were a lot of drop-off ratio. The drop-off ratio was high. We used to start our sessions with 300 to 500 girls, by the time session ends, only 20 to 50% of them used to stay. Then we jumped to WhatsApp group, but that too didn't work very well with for us because of long messages, reading and comprehension issue, lack of motivation, and so on. So we pulled up our socks and started calling girls कि हमें क्या करना चाहिए, क्या करें हम that they will start doing the curriculum. So we called like 100 of girls to know what are the issue they are facing and how we can tackle them. And they were like कि network issue है, data नहीं है, too many users on a single device, phone में storage issue है, there is no physical space for them in their house, and so on. Then we realized the application will not work with our girls. Later in 2021, we came across Glific. By this time, we knew that girls are comfortable using WhatsApp, so why not to leverage that? फिर हमने हमें वो uninstall भी नहीं कर पाएंगे. So we started doing research on the same thing. Before COVID, we had around 3,000 girls, and by this phase, we had just 300 girls. And we used to engage with them via WhatsApp, sending them daily activities on WhatsApp and like responding to their replies so that we can see what content we can use on Glyphic. It was very overwhelming for us because to manually type a message to each and every girl and replying to their messages. And they were like, they used to seriously get mad on us if we fail to respond to them. By doing this, but by doing this, we came to know that comfort and time matters for them. Because when we used to do online classes, like online classes has fixed time, but with WhatsApp, they can talk whenever they have time, or जहाँ comfortable है, they can do their exercise and be given activities. After a year of hard work and talking to girls, we came up with our chatbot. And then a year later, we started in after drawing the chatbot, we focused on our user needs, behavior, and we started making those changes in our chatbot. And our chatbot was live. And now in 2024, we are focusing on outreach of our chatbot, like with KVs, BMC, PM Shri, Delhi schools, and so on.
So this is our chatbot. It's called Muki, and as mentioned by Shraddha, so it's a very strong and relatable character for our students. And I think the link is also shared with all of you. You know, you can also go and test how exactly it works and how engaging it is. So presently, at present, if we talk about Mukhi, so it has 20 modules, 20 different levels, and each takes around 15 to 20 minutes to complete, and it's completely a self-paced program. So it's not something that we share like on a weekly basis. We are sharing some modules or something. It's a completely self-paced program, and so far, over 22,000 students have enrolled with 2.8 million messages exchanged till date, and 85% of the students have gave us the highest rating because each after each and every module we take feedbacks from the students, and this is something which they have shared with us. But most importantly, out of all those things, I think 3 out of 4 girls who completed the program said that they have used what they have learned to stay safe. And also, because getting here wasn't easy. It took us a lot of time, tries, and experiment. And after many iterations, Muki has evolved into what it is today. So one key change was adding gamification, using rewards and fun challenges to keep students engaged and motivated while interacting with our chatbot. So Shraddha will just make walk you through how exactly the gamification works in our chatbot.
So, as mentioned earlier, we did whatever girls told to us. And like I said earlier, we did a lot of experiment on WhatsApp with girls. We were damn sure about what would not work on Glific with us. Something with just a long content, long messages, zero motivation would lend us nowhere. So gamification was must for us. I am a Potterhead, so I always wanted something magical for our girls, and a magical chatbot where you don't have to do anything, like no manual things, everything will be automated. All responses and replies are automated. Like imagine my imagination was like there should be two rounds, one physical and one non-physical, and they will earn points with every correct answer. So whenever they will give a correct answer, they will get some points. Also, they will get a password at the end of flow. Like whenever a round ends, they will get a password. That password will help them to unlock the next flow, the next round, which will be difficult from the previous one. We worked really hard to draw this imagination into reality. Talking about our chatbot, so first thing girls go through is our registration flow. So basically, registration flow consists of their name, standard, male, female, and like their sex and everything. So once they complete the registration flow, they will earn 500 bonus points. We wanted to bribe them here so that like in the sense of we wanted to bribe them here so in the sense of motivation and also to build trust कि सच में point मिलता है यार. This idea really kicked our flow, like this idea really kicked our what users that is our goals were happy to earn point over here, like in the start of the flow. And I seriously feel this pushed them to do the further levels and complete the flow. Later at every learn and burn round, they earn around 100 points with every correct answer. We wanted them to complete the round in one day. So what we did is we provided them with a bonus point, 100 rupees bonus point, and if they will able to complete the flow within 24 hours, that is in a day. As I mentioned, like as we said, our target audiences are adolescent girls. They are very, very competitive, and like And trust me over here, they get hyped up to know कि उनके दोस्त को कितना point मिला है and at what rank they are, what they are doing in the flow. So leaderboard really helped us to boost this competitive aspect, and it created a healthy competition within girls. And I still remember girls used to call us and say कि आपको पता है क्या 3 दिन पहले मेरी फ्रेंड मेरे से रैंक में आगे थी, आज मैंने उसको पीछे छोड़ दिया, मेरे पॉइंट्स उससे ज्यादा हैं, ये वो। This added a competitive and engaging aspect in our bot. Now the question is कि how to keep girls motivated to complete the flow. So what we did is we gave them an option of redemption. Like after level 2, they can convert their own point into a data recharge. So 1000 point is equal to 10 rupees data recharge. The idea was if they are not talking to us because they don't have internet, giving them data recharge motivated them to give correct answers and earn points so that they can redeem it and like get mobile recharge. Parents were also happy about it, and they also motivated their girls to do this because they used to say like कि ये कुछ तो करती है व्हाट्सएप पे जिसकी वजह से उसको पॉइंट मिलता है, फिर उससे रिचार्ज मिलता है, तो हम भी बोलते हैं करो करो। This is our leaderboard. This is how leaderboards looks like.
Cool. So I think now let's talk about just 1 second. So I think now we had gamification in place, have good number of students enrolled, but at the same time we had a new challenge, that how we will know if it's working or not, for how many students it's working, or for or any kind of challenges that are coming. So in the last 3 months, so though like you have already like Shraddha has already talked about her journey, it took around like 4 or 5 years to build what we are right now today. But most of our growth we have seen in the last 3 months. So we have grown 3 times in terms of number of users and 4 times in terms of messages exchange. And I think this growth came from the three key focus areas. One was the outreach, second was providing the quick support to the students, and third was using data to identify and remove the barriers. And today what we will do is we will focus on the last key area, using which is like using data to understand the funnel and improve the students engagement. uh, Here, we used first principle thinking to understand what's happening in the bot and spot the key barriers. So as you can see, like we follow very simple 5 step. One was, to understand what data is being captured, how it is structured in the BigQuery, and at the same time, while establishing a clear logic to track the flow completion for each users. Second was, to pull the right data. So we wrote multiple SQL queries, to pull the relevant data that was relevant for our use case. And third was to identify the drop-offs and the engagement trends. And fourth, like because now we have data, we have trends, we have numbers, everything. But at the same time, once we have the some sense where exactly the problem is happening, we also crossed or double checked with our users, and also the chats, like while observing chats, if that is really the issue. So that was the fourth thing we did. And fifth is like we like once the changes are implemented, we test them, we refine, and we iterate this process, and it's a continuous process. So let's discuss or deep dive one like in each of these 5 points one by one. So first was to assess and define the data flow. The goal here was very simple, to understand how data flows from chatbot to BigQuery and the purpose of each BigQuery table. For example, when creating a Glific flow, um, if we add something to a collection, we should know where exactly it is stored in BigQuery. Same with, the counters, the labels, the contact variable. So we should know exactly whatever that is happening on the Glyphic end, where exactly the data is being stored at the back end. So that was the first thing. Second, it was like once we so every organization has different needs, different ways of designing the program on the chatbot, and I think unique success metrics. So for us, we have like 28 different flows in Glyphic. So it was very crucial for us to understand what was happening inside each one of these flows. And to make sense of this, we needed data that was most relevant to our chatbot. So we wrote multiple SQL queries to extract the right data. So just let me show you, my screen, like how exactly we did. Just a second. Yeah, so you can see here, you can see my screen, right? So we wrote multiple, SQL queries to know that where exactly, for example, if I want to know how many numbers of new users are getting opted. So for that, we know that we have to refer the flag contact table, and what query can give us that data. Same for, let's say, this was something that most of the time we use, that how many people are completing the flows or the levels. So for that, we know that this is the table contact collections with timelines. Right. So for that, we wrote this type of query. So this is something we did to extract the relevant data. um Let me again go back to the slide. Hmm. And I think the third was so once we had the right data, we started diving into the numbers. We started analyzing the pattern to understand what was really happening inside the chatbot. This helped us to see where students were engaging and where they were dropping off, and what needed the improvement. And also, like, I can quickly show you, just a glimpse like how our overall tracker looks like. So this is our user engagement funnel that provides us the bird eye view to monitor the chatbot overall health, and also I help us to identify key friction points in the user journey. So just give me a second. I'm just switching between uh, uh, the sheets. Just a second. Yeah. Perfect. So you can see here, this is how our user funnel looks like. And just focus on right now, our last 3 months of data. You can see here, we had around 12,000 students opt-ins, and 9,000, around 74% move to the next level. And same, like how many are moving to different levels. So this is our engagement funnel, and here from directly we can see that this is the area, the engagement level 3, or the retained level, where we need to focus right now. And even let's say if we want to deep dive into what exactly is happening, so we have data for each of our levels. So this also help us to understand where exactly is the problem, what exactly is happening in the bot, the overall health of the bot. And next one was yeah. So I think after that, we didn't stop there only, like, because after making sense of the numbers and identifying the exact problem, we didn't stop there. So to confirm our findings, we spoke to multiple students, we spoke to multiple users, and also observed their chats, the overall trends. So this really help us to double check whether the issue we identified from the data was actually what the students were experiencing, or not. So here I would also like to, share or show some of the things that we changed after, following all those previous steps. So one, you can see initially, we used to just ask the students to type ha or na or yes or no. But we found that many students are facing problem here, getting stuck here. So we change it to the buttons, yes or no. And this really worked. Second, we also used to take the initially when we built the bot, we used to so sharing location was mandatory, but we found that most of the students were not comfortable in sharing the location, so they used to just stop, or drop out from that after that message. So what we did was, made the location sharing as the optional, and after that it really worked for the students who were not comfortable in sharing. They just have to click on the button no, and then they can easily move to the next message. Third, I think this was very, very important because initially, like there were 11 to 12% of the students used to get stuck in the help flow, and they were struggling, to get out of the help flow. And this is something that we used to share in the help flow. Let's say if someone comes to the help flow, they get stuck. So we used to share the screenshot that how you can get out of the help flow. But this was not working. We found that like 11-12%, around 50% of the students were getting stuck there. So instead of sharing the screenshot, what we did was we started sharing a voice note, very simple voice note कि अभी आपको ये करना है, ये button click करो. And I think that really helped. So initially 11 to 12% students used to get stuck, but now after sharing the voice note, it was just it fell down to just 1 or 2%. So yeah, that's the another thing we did. But overall, what it has led to, so one major problem we faced at the top of the funnel was 3 months ago, we were losing 50% of the students between the opt-in and the registration. So once we identified this issue using data, we took action. As a result, we successfully reduced the drop-offs from 48% to 24%. A big, I think, improvement in keeping students engaged right from the start. And I think the last one is the optimize. The final step is to keep iterating and refining. So improving engagement isn't for us. It isn't a one-time fix. It's an ongoing process. So we continuously analyze the data. We test the new ideas and take small but meaningful changes to ensure the best experience for our students. Yeah. So that's all from our end, and we hope that it would be helpful for some of you who have joined. Yeah. So now what we will do is we can open for question. Gaurav, I think Gaurav has one question. Can these queries be shared with us? So Gaurav, like we can like we are happy to share the queries, but for you there will be a different need or the case. So I am not sure if this exact query will work in your case, but we can help
I
you like whatever way. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I think Chetan, I think the idea is just to see what all queries you're doing and maybe
Yeah.
just take more inspiration as to what we can learn from those actual queries
Yeah,
from
yeah.
that.
I like you can connect with me. We can share with you. That's fine.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I have one more question, but before that, just thank you so much for walking through this entire presentation. It's lovely to see the entire experience. The question I have is the leaderboard that I think Shraddha mentioned, right? How is it implemented? In the sense, are you guys deriving the rank of a particular student at runtime, or is it pulled from database and just being represented to students?
So it's live on the BigQuery itself. The because after each and every module, the students gets points, and based on the points they are collecting, we have ranked the students. And all the data, everything is there on the BigQuery itself. And also how it is working. So we have like in the flow itself, like there is a webhook that we have created that takes the data from the BigQuery and sends that messages to the students. So it's entirely automated in Glyfic itself. So there is no third-party tool or anything that has been implemented. It's just some webhook code that is written. It is pulling data from the BigQuery and sending it to the users in the template that we have created for the students.
But this is all happening synchronously.
Yeah, it's live. Yeah, synchronously. Yes.
So I do this week's whatever games activities are. After
Yeah.
that, my ranks, let's say, let's change. It changes. Then
Hmm.
the things change on BigQuery. Webhook call through webhook call. We understand that and we send that to user.
Yeah. So again, because every week we share, but this is not something. This is something. It's a message. It's a template message that we have to either automatically trigger it to on a weekly basis or manually share whenever we want. And also we have a keyword which is been shared with the students if they wanted to know their rank. So they can just click. They can just type get rank and they can see their ranks. But on a weekly basis we just share this as a nudge message or a message with all the students.
Wow, that's interesting. One last question. The
Mhm,
points redeeming option that you mentioned, right?
mhm.
Um, so now is it available for all students? And have you seen this particular feature being misused by students, wherein they're trying to they're getting points easily, and then they're getting money also easily based on those points?
Actually, the till now we haven't seen anyone is misusing the system, and also the max number of points one a student can get is around 9,000. If a student is sincerely completing all the flows and within 24 hours and with all the correct answers, and with all the right activities, and 1,000 points equal to 10 rupees. And also it is not like that if you have completed one module, you have received 500 points. And again, let's say if you are doing the same module, you won't be getting the same 500 points because in the backend, it is coded in such a way. If a student has received 500 points in one module, then it cannot be overlapped again. And also when it comes to redemption, so I think redemption is like once anything gets redeemed, so that get also deducted from the totals. So it's entirely highly monitored. So no one, from the student end, they can't, play with this system right now. It's designed in such a way.
Got it. Last follow-up question. The redeeming process there is an intervention from your end, is it?
No, no, it is also automated. So there is a third party tool that we have used. So from there the from there the students get the recharges directly.
Got it. Got it. Cool. Thanks so much.
Any more questions? Anyone wants to know anything about chatbot, the Mukki chatbot?
So, Chetan, I would like to ask one thing, which is not directly related to gamification or user funnels, but more on the operations of MukkiBot, where those instances I was thinking of where the uh, young girl child is facing from close ones or acquaintances or family members, and there is a device being used at that place. So, how was that ever uncounted, and how was that navigated? Like if in the family itself, if someone is facing those harassments, then how could that device be used, and they are still empowered to use that device, and somehow they are able to share their learnings and reflections. So were there any sort of incidents where these type of challenges or nuances came,
Hmm.
and
Yeah,
if then
Shraddha.
how? Yeah.
So recently I did a research, like I called some of the girls who have done all the clothes and like done with their outline as well. So
Mhm.
there were some girls who were like कि मिट्टी से सीख के हमने we have used many things in our personal life as well, like against their teacher, against their parents. So they are using it. Like Muki talks about what are the threats, what
Mhm.
like and what are the violence they can face, and we also talk about all the like non-physical plus physical activities they can use in their personal life to like overcome this threat and vulnerabilities and their vulnerabilities. So girls are using it. Girls are feeling like they have someone who is their role model and they are trying to be like Mukhi. They feels कि हम ही है Mukhi. And yeah, they are using it in their personal life. There are stories which we can't share because of consent issues. But we are drawing our impact, like we take baseline and as well as end line. That number we
Yeah.
have, which we can share with you if you want.
No, no, not required, because from the not from the impact perspective, it was like where there are challenges, like there is a single phone, and that girl needs that particular phone to do all the activities, but that phone belongs to head of the family, and somewhere that harassment is coming from the head of the family. Then how could head of the family be uh,
Yeah, I
made
I
away
am
here?
understanding what you are asking.
Yeah.
I have like observed a particular pattern in girls. So basically, what girls do is कि they complete a round, they get a
Okay.
password, then they will clear the chat. Then
Okay.
next day, whenever they get point, they will enter
Great,
their
great.
password, their new round gets start, and then they complete that round, then again they will clear the chat. So
Great.
what they do is like keep on clearing the
Mm-hmm.
chat so that their parents and other family member won't come to know what they are doing on
Great,
that
great.
chat.
This I was thinking of or wanted to listen.
Yeah.
Great, great, great.
Any other question?
Yeah,
Yes. Hi,
there
Chetan.
is
Hi,
one from
team.
Mitesh. Yeah, hi, Guja. Yeah, carry on.
Um, yes. So I am from Unify Collective. We are also wanting to build a chatbot for school leaders to be able to ease their learning through leadership journeys. But we are facing this issue. What data do we need to be able to start building a chatbot system? We have a lot of it. We just don't know what exactly to focus upon. So if you could share some things like some learnings of your own, ki what all data helped you to be able to navigate, start creating a chatbot for the kids, that would be helpful.
So one thing what we did was, you know, one thing that we did was like from start to end, like till date, what we are doing is like minute changes also. When if we want to do a minute changes as well, we ask girls if they want this changes, if like this content is working with them or not. Like as I told you, we have done a lot of seriously a lot of like research work and like experiments. We used to make a message, we used to send them to girls and ask them, like we used to call them and ask them, "Ki, did you understand this message? Did you like it? Do you want such messages? Like or like जो मैंने पहले भेजा था वो मैं भेजूं." So like talking to girls like helped us a lot, and whatever we are like whatever we have today is just because of them. We never imagined कि उनके साथ क्या काम करेगा. We just asked them कि बताओ तुमको क्या चाहिए. So I feel talking to your target audience and like your users and asking them only will help you.
Yeah, and adding on this, I think that will really help you is to understand whether there is a need or not for this. And like on a every quarter we do talk to the students, we do some research, we take surveys to understand what are different needs of the students, and also for us, for our case, like when we try to understand the motivation of the students for using this chatbot, because this is not something we are giving maths or science or something that is very common, or that is something जो करना ही करना है बच्चे को, because if we give some maths classes or science classes, that is something part kind of like part of their curriculum or part of their studies जो करते ही हैं. But our program is very different. This is something uh, you know like I think very few, like happening in very few schools. Curriculum भी widely available नहीं है. So for this, I think it was very important for us to understand the motivation of the students, that why they will, opt for this kind of program. And what we found out that for there are like two again motivations, intrinsic and extrinsic. So from intrinsic, we are still figuring out that, because it's different for different girls. One girl, like some girls say that it's more of because they also want to become powerful like Mukki, and some says that Mukki is someone who helped me to grow. वो बाकी friends जैसी नहीं है, because with बाकी other friends it's more of like very informal type of, they never let me grow, but with talking with Mukki, that really helps her to grow. And extrinsic, I think we figured out that the reward system are working, the gamification, the competitive spirit, all these things are working, the nudges and all those things. So I think what I feel that it's very important to know first whether there is a need for this program, whatever program that you are planning for the school leaders, is there is a need or not? Second, if some motivation can be identified, then that can be worked upon.
Got it, got it. Thank you so much.
I think there is one question on the girls are redeeming the points on a monthly basis. Nitish, right now we don't have the exact numbers, but we can share with you. Like this is something we also need to figure out. There are some changes that we are doing in the redeeming process, so we are on that. So once that is done, we can share the number with you. Anyone has any questions?
I had a question. Hi,
Mm-hmm.
I'm Siddharth from Antarang Foundation, and we're also working with students on career guidance, and we have a career guidance chatbot. So since also you're also working with students, I was just trying to understand. I mean, it's not the kids' own phones, right? It is either siblings, parents, or someone else's. So when you send the nudges, do you address them to the students directly, or is it like I mean, because the parent also has to see, acha ye kuch aaya hai, and give it to the student, right? So, how does that work? How have you seen it in your
Ah,
users?
So basically, the way we have drew Mukki is like it's a seven, and the story we tell to girls is ki Mukki is a seventh standard girl who is like someone like you who is powerful and who loves to do friendship, and she want to become your friend. So if you want to talk to them and become like her, like this is your number, send her the heart. So whenever the content that we have drawn in our whole chatbot is it seems like a 7-year-old girl is talking to the same age group. Like the target area is like 6, 7, and 8 standard three girls, and the way we have drawn Mukki is the total reflection of those girls only. So if any messages goes from Mukki, like any nudge messages or anything from Mukki, वो ऐसा ही लगता है कि उनकी कोई फ्रेंड उन्हें मैसेज कर रही है. And some formal messages and some any formal messages or like often messages we draw in a way कि वो पेरेंट्स को भी जाए कि लीगल गार्डियन जो है उनको भी एड्रेस करे and like indirectly it addresses our user as well. So we try to like talk in a way कि a girl is talking to their
It's really interesting. Thanks. Also, one additional question. I had to step away in between, so I might have missed this. Um, but since the bot is like personified, right? Do you get instances of like the girls trying to sort of chat instead of using like maybe you've given an interactive message and they have sent something else instead. So how do you deal with those situations? Or like are they aware that it is a yeah. Do
yeah.
they
So
know
there
that it's
are.
a person? Yeah.
Yeah, so I think because we keep on doing the user research, we keep on talking to the students to understand and take the feedbacks on a regular basis. Uh, I think for 50 to 60% of the students they don't think that it's a chatbot or any robot that is talking to them. They feel that it's a real person that is talking to them. And also because right now as the number of users are increasing, as more and more students are having conversation with us, so we are facing different kinds of problems or different kind of problem statements we are getting. Like some are using abusive words because again we don't know whether it's a, like sometimes it can be a boy or can be a girl, anyone, and many a times some are attached so personally that they are like they don't think it's a chatbot. They think that it's a real person and they become very personal with the chatbot. So what we are doing right now is to some bring some mix of AI and human touch. And how AI? So we have built some machine learning models, which automatically give us the list of the students who are, let's say, abusing us, or who are, becoming very personal, or sharing anything uh, that is very sensitive or something. So at least we are aware like who are those students, and each and individually, case by case, we are looking at each student's case and then maybe responding to them accordingly. But as of now, everything is not entirely automated because this problem, or this is something that is coming from last few months as our users have increased. So we are still figuring out like how this can be at least 70 to 80% automated as we scale with more number of users. But as of now, we are at least aware that what is happening, and we are taking case each by each individual. So that is something we are doing. Yeah.
Okay, that sounds like a lot to do it case by case. May I know, like, what is the size of like the chatbot team? Is it just two of you, or
Yeah, just two
okay,
of
just
us.
two?
Yeah.
Already, yeah. That sounds like a lot of people. Thanks, very
But
interesting.
entirely, most of the things are automated. Like from data, we have
Hmm.
the entire visibility, and also like we have built some models that automatically give us the list of students on a weekly basis who are, asking too many personal questions,
Yeah, it
getting
sounds like
stuck.
you've set it up
So
very
yeah,
well.
yeah. Mm. Yeah. Any more questions? Mhm.